Day 10 in the Big Brother UK house, and the housemates are voting this week. I much prefer this week's format over last week's. I didn't really like how they showed you who was up for nomination and then went back and showed you who voted. This is like the more traditional way, and plus they got to vote for 2 housemates each, which I think is a lot better because it's more challenging for the housemates. Originally I thought Kerry, Hallie and Zach were going to be up for nomination, but on the live show everybody seemed to really like Zach and think that he was a really nice guy. For me it was just too much of a lad, so I'm glad that he's up for nomination. Henry I actually quite like, and I hope that he stays. One nomination that really stood out to me was when Zach nominated Olivia, because he said that she should respect her elders. Now I completely disagree with that. I don't think that you should respect anybody who doesn't give you respect. I don't care what age they are. And when he was referring to her respecting their elders, he was talking about when she was speaking to Kerry, and Olivia and Kerry are friends, and they talk about each other as if they're like mother and daughter. Now, me and most of the people that I know, when you're friends with somebody in Scotland, you speak to them like crap, it's like banter, it's like a joke, and if people don't really know you that well, they'll think that you actually hate each other sometimes. Now, I realise that not everybody in Scotland is like that, but a lot of people are. I'm still shocked that Kerry and Hallie aren't up for nomination, and I think Kerry was shocked as well. And actually, when they revealed who was up for nomination, Kerry's reaction was a bit like attention-seeking, and I felt like she was taking all the attention for herself instead of comforting the people that were up. And then when Trish was telling Jordan that he should be more emotional about Henry being up for nomination, like, I know people who don't really express emotions. I know people who hardly smile and don't cry and don't express any emotion, and you can't just turn around and say to somebody, right, it's time to be upset now. Zach pretending to be happy when he got nominated. When housemates do that, it really annoys me. Like, when they said his name, it was like, oh yes, as if he was happy. And then he later admitted that he was upset. I also can't stand it when their names get said and they go, oh, I knew it, it's fine, and then they go about acting as if it's like the best time of their life. Now, they certainly shouldn't be going around throwing fits, like when Trish was saying to Henry about how he should react in a certain way, or how if he feels a certain way he should act out on it. And she said, oh, well, what they're going to do, nominate you again. But it's like, maybe they can't go and nominate him again right now, but they've got next week and the public's going to be watching. The last thing we want to watch at home is watch somebody with their grey hoodie on and their sunglasses and being like, oh, I'm so depressed because I'm up for nomination, or watching them take a hissy fit. Her advice is so bad, we'll see how she acts when she's up for nomination. When Trish was speaking to Zach as well, she said, oh, you're loved by everybody in the house. Obviously he's not, because he's up for nomination. I really wish that Big Brother would tell them how many nominations they had, because then in their head they would kind of start to guess who had voted for them. I think things would get a bit awkward, but it would be a lot more fun. Personally, if I was in the house, I would love to just stand up and nominate people to their face. I wouldn't see the point in keeping it a secret. Henry was getting upset because he thinks people in the house don't like him, and part of that problem is because there's no communication. People don't want to tell him that he has to chip in with housework, or he has to do dishes, or he has to help cooking or whatever, because they don't want to come across as being bossy. However, while they're doing that, they could just turn around and say, look, do you want to help, or I think you should help a bit more, or give him some sort of advice, instead of just letting him do nothing and then going in and nominating him. I would rather somebody came to me and says, look, do you think that you should maybe do the dishes, or do you think that you should do something because you've just sat in your arse all day and done nothing? Chanel was saying that she's got an idea in her head of who the top 5 are going to be in the house. I wish she would tell me, because at the moment I don't think anybody deserves to win. Noki was speaking to Kerry and she says that she had never tried Nutella, and she said that she stopped eating dairy when she was 7 and Nutella wasn't a thing when she was 7. I can guarantee that Nutella was a thing when she was 7. And she needs to try it. I'm pretty sure that people that can't eat lactose can try tablets, or there's something that they can take. I mean, I think that one spoonful of Nutella's not going to kill her if she really wants to taste it. So this isn't really related to the game, but when Dylan got into the hot tub, for some reason I thought that he was going to take his leg off. And I think it's only because it's got lights in it. I don't know anybody that's got prosthetic limbs, right? So I know that they don't go rusty or anything, and I don't really know what I was expecting, but I think it's just because they light up. I thought that he was going to take his leg off, but you see people with prosthetic limbs swimming and everything, and I know that that's nothing to do with the game, but am I stupid for thinking that? Am I literally the only person who thought that? I don't know. Like, he must have showers and baths and stuff put on, but I was just so surprised by it. During the nominations, Hallie and Olivia were writing on each other's backs and sending each other secret code messages, and they weren't hiding it. Like, Olivia was clearly saying, oh, I like this, like secret codes or whatever, and it turns out that they're going to be getting in trouble for that in tomorrow night's show. Even when I was watching that, I thought to myself, surely what they're doing is not right. Like, are they telling each other who they voted for? Or are they saying who they think other people have voted for? And that's things that they know is against the rules, whether you're writing it on somebody's back or saying it to their face. So we'll see what their punishment is tomorrow. I'm glad that Zach's up for nomination. Not too happy that Henry's up. I would rather it was Hallie or Paul or Kerry. But let me know in the comments what you think of this week's nominations, and if you would like to talk more about Big Brother, give me a follow.